One thing I can say about this wrestling show is things certainly occurred in and out of the ring, which is technically true of any wrestling event in history. Now I'm stuck in a moment that I can't get out of, so let's move on. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE NXT TakeOver In Your House 2021. This might have been the most unnecessary TakeOver event in the last few years, and I will explain why. And let me know in the comments if you agree, and let me know your thoughts on the NXT product as it's evolved. Because, yes, they had their meager beginnings and everything, and they built it on work rate, and sure, there were, some stumbles, but then they got to when they did TakeOver Arrival, or just Arrival, but I still call it a TakeOver event because it did have some good stuff. And yeah, they had some matches that were it was kind of a mixed bag on some of the shows, but the big matches usually delivered. Then they went to the Barclays Center. Sasha and Bayley stole the goddamn show. Should have main evented, in all honesty. And I'm not going to go through an entire history of the TakeOver events, but they've really risen up, and they've hit some stumbling blocks. They've even hit some roadblocks. End of the line. But they've also, succeeded, and they've signed up a whole bunch of talent, hoovered up a lot of talent, and sure, there's been dips and whatever, and they've had to reset some stuff, but NXT is still the one brand in WWE where you're like, okay, this is as close to a sports-based product as we're going to get. And I'm going to be honest, even before their move to USA in 2 hours, they were starting to stumble with the weekly stuff and even some of the takeovers. And now they've really hit a proverbial wall. And even the pandemic, even before the pandemic, they were starting to have some issues. And now this event had a lot of stuff that happened. There was some high-level work. I wanted to be fully invested, but I can't really rank this as more than just an average takeover because there was stuff that occurred, but a lot of it just all felt the same because a lot of NXT on USA, they put, sometimes they'll have some shows that are just kind of there, and then they'll build to some stuff. They're going to be doing Great American Bash on July 6th, and they're going to be doing a bunch of, they do some, big matches. They did, the Cruiserweight Unification Ladder match and some other stuff, and they'll just do these stipulation matches, and they'll have some really, really cool spots and everything and stuff, and then they have an event like this where I don't even fucking think they needed to make this a takeover. They could have just had this be a week of NXT TV, because it really felt like that. Yes, there were a couple, bigger stakes. No, the stakes are too high, as my butcher said to me when I asked him to reach for stuff off of the top shelf. I should have picked somebody other than Austin Aries to work at a butcher's market because, oh yeah, he doesn't eat meat or believe in mass. Fuck Austin Aries. Maybe not literally. But anyway, this show just something wasn't clicking with me. I enjoyed some of it, but I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. But let's get on with the review. Sam Roberts and Justin Barrasso, who look like two boiled eggs. Sam, at least he let the hair go, but my God, he looks ridiculous bald. Not that I don't look ridiculous, mostly bald. $1 million video package. Well made. They are really, really good with how they make their video packages. And, well, they got more fans in there. They took away the screens. They got more fans. It's kind of like, a mini Full Sail. They don't have as many fans. But you know what? Maybe that's a good thing because the Full Sail crowds were kind of starting to annoy me. And these fans were, they were booing the right people, cheering the right people. It wasn't quite like WCW Center Stage where they were even holding up cards like, hey, cheer for this guy. No, we don't want to. Anyway, NXT, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment. I like that. I like that, flashback to the mid-90s. That was really, really good shit. Todd Pettengill voiceover, and then Michael Hayes is Doc Hendricks. Todd Pettengill looks exactly the same, just minus, more of the mullet that he had. He looks the same. Good on him, and good on him for having the energy. I love Todd Pettengill. Even as a kid, I was like, as a teenager, Todd Pettengill was pretty cool, and he had that energy. So at least whether he was a big wrestling fan or not, he had that sports-based feel about him. Naomi Fox, I don't know who the fuck this is. I don't know what the fuck she was supposed to be doing. I'm not even going to say anything about the whatever lip syncing, cool. People have lip sync fucking wrestling events and other events forever. Ashley Simpson, remember that whole thing at SNL? So I'm not even going to knock the lip syncing thing. But if that was actually her, she needs to pick another line of work because that was atrocious. That was fucking bad. Todd Pettengill actually there in person. That was pretty cool. We have Bronson Reed and MSK versus Legoland Phantasm. Winner takes all. So it's Bronson Reed's North American Championship, the NXT tag titles. You notice how they have, excuse me, they have mid-card championships in NXT. Technically with the Cruiserweight Championship, even though it's just for, 205 and under. They have multiple tag team championships, multiple world championships, multiple women's championships, multiple women's tag titles. Everybody gets a fucking title. You don't make championships feel important by doing that. When in doubt, adding more championships doesn't fucking help. Anyway, I understand what they were trying to do here. Winner takes all. Here's the thing. This feud, these guys can work well. MSK and Legoland Phantasm, they work well together. Wild is really good. Got to meet him in a couple indie shows a couple years ago before he signed with NXT. Guy's tremendous. Escobar is really good. Reed's really good. I didn't fucking care one goddamn bit about this. It was moves, moves, moves. Bronson and Escobar, obviously they're going to be working that, for a program going forward. Hey, Dives. And, boy, it's raining men, says Beth. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Hey, Noah, I know you were fine during this match. Sorry, Noah. I mean, nobody's going to know who you are. Noah who you are, if you will. Unless they follow me and you on Twitter. But anyway, I kid. Noah's really cool. Triple team action, man. Just repeatedly getting triple team. Legoland Phantasm just, man, repeated triple team action. I never thought I'd see 3 Hispanic talents repeatedly tag team various races of men on camera. Again, always delete your search history. Michinoku driver on Reed. That was really good. Impressive strength by Escobar. And we get, you see, by the way, the wall collapsing or whatever. That's why you use strong, sturdy materials to build the wall. And Tsunami! Why I made Stu Bennett, a.k.a. Wade Barrett, sound like he was an 80-year-old British smoker. I had no idea. Or Billy Wilkins from, or Bill Wilkins, rather, from Conjuring 2. Hits that for 3. The Tsunami! And then Todd Pettingill's backstage with a VHS tape. I actually found it funny when they did the VHS anthology and they actually had a VHS tape. That was pretty funny. They had, DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS. I almost bought that and I decided not to because my VCR went on the fritz. So, now we move on to Xia Li versus Mercedes Martinez. Fucking hell, Xia, my God. Please hit me in the face with that. Anyway, moving on. I have issues. Xia Li is beautiful. She is talented. She is really in shape. Mercedes looks like $1 million. Really good athlete. This match shouldn't have been on Takeover. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that this feud, it was built around the fact that Xia Li in her first match got beat by Mercedes Martinez. Cool. Long-term storytelling that they just stumbled into because WWE has difficulty doing that because they tend to hotshot some stuff. And I'm not saying other companies don't hotshot, but come on. Now, unfortunately, the Grudge Ghost is there. Not Tiara Masu, I think, or whatever, but Mei Lin, or Ying, or Yin and Yang, whatever. Not Yang from Final Fantasy IV. Everybody get on the floor and do the Moon Dinosaur. But these ladies tried. They did some good strikes. Xia was instantly scissoring her opponent, which was nice to see. I love good fisting and scissoring action between women. Always delete your search history, by the way. Weird cliffhanger, I think is what it was called. It was like a sit-out dominator. And Boa interfered and got taken out. Boa is so ineffective at ringside. Backdrop on the floor, but then eventually spin kick, 1, 2, 3. Xia Li gets a victory, and then lights out. Then the Grudge Ghost is standing up, and this is dumb because Xia gets a chair. She then gets laid out. Boa gets hit, and then the Grudge Ghost stands up. This is stupid. This supernatural bullshit is stupid. It's a 1,000-year-old woman that made a deal with a dragon to cost her soul. Right there, how can you fucking take anything seriously? And Xia Li, again, looks like $1 million. She looks great. She's a great athlete. But goddamn, this is stupid. Anyway, you want to go, bitch. That was actually kind of funny. And then Mei, Yin and Yang, and the Yin Yang Master, the Yin Yang twins, the Yin and Yip, I believe as some kids say. Death grip on Mercedes and into the wall. A lot of wall action tonight. Ciampa and Thatcher hype up their Tornado tag match. Ted DiBiase and his security show up with the $1 million belt in a briefcase. Wait, Virgil came out at number 23? Well, at one time he had the $1 million championship belt. Of course he stole it, but, he still had it. Oh, will you stop? So anyway, Grimes versus LA Knight, $1 million championship ladder match, and I didn't give a fuck. And Grimes is a good athlete. I love LA Knight. They took some bumps. They hurled themselves stupidly at the ladder. Good tactic. This didn't need to have a ladder stipulation. I'm sorry. I don't care. Ted DiBiase didn't look like he wanted to be there at all. Probably wanted to be grifting more money, from people that are religious nuts down in Mississippi. If you know, you know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe it was his son. Who knows? So, they did use the weapon as a ladder. That is really nice. And if you get that line, I love you guys. Hurl yourself stupidly at the ladder. Good tactic. Knight splashes on the one on the outside. We get a gold ladder. Apparently, big show from Money in the Bank 20. Was it 12? I think it was 2012. The huge ladder, the big monster ladder that he got. And then Grimes basically gets tossed out and then catching Spanish Fly. And then we get ladder building because we're going to have a big spot at the end. They have a ramp to the ring, by the way. Then we get, where Grimes dives off of something. That's what I call a truss fall. Worked hard on these. And then Grimes falls and Knight wins. And one hardly needs to go on. The $1 Million Championship. Another fucking championship. My God, you could have the best talents in the goddamn world, but when you're just overbooking shit like this. All right, Todd, interrupted by Swerve, and I'm sorry, I don't give a shit about him. I don't care. I don't care. I don't. I'm sorry. I want to care, but I like Swerve. I don't care about any of these others. They're cronies. They're like the Walkers. They're like the Walkers that nobody cares about. Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon, NXT Women's Championship. Okay, addressing the elephant in the room. He's shitting everywhere, and it's really starting to smell, so I gotta finish this video up soon. Don't ask me how I fit an elephant in my room. But anyway, yes, if I'm gonna knock Jericho and Hager and others for their political opinions, I will have to address the fact that Raquel maybe isn't the smartest person, and why a woman would support him, I have no idea. That being said, is that going to take away from how I view her in the ring? No, she's very good in the ring. I'm worried this reign is going to end up being a lot like Diesel's reign, where she's going to have opponents that, can work, some opponents that can work with her, and she's not going to have a Bret Hart to work with, because Diesel worked with Bret Hart, and that was at the Royal Rumble 1995, and it was a good match, and in DQ, and then Survivor Series 95, and they always had good matches. I'm worried there's not going to be anybody they're going to build up enough to face Raquel. And Raquel can do some stuff. And Ember, bless her. Bless Ember. She was trying here. This match had good action, but had too much interference. I was very distracted by Dakota at ringside, because Dakota looks great. And let me tell you right now, when you see some nice pink tips there at ringside, you're going to see some. I am going to get killed in the goddamn comments for this. But Dakota looked great. Dakota, I don't mind her maybe interfering once. That's what, your second's supposed to do. That's what your friend's supposed to do. It got a little bit old. And it's gotten to the point now where it's like, okay, they're trying to recreate Shawn Michaels and Diesel. Here's the problem. It's not, I don't think this is going to have the impact of them splitting up that they think it will. I'm not saying they aren't actually friends. They could be, they may not be. It may just be an on-screen thing. I don't know. But I don't think this is going to work as well as they think. So then we got a nice, a loud forearm, such loud fisting action between women, and I usually have to go to a different kind of website to see that. Go incognito. Somebody told me about that at one point, and I go, wow, I should have done this sooner. Anyway, we get a code red, or chode red, as I wrote down, for 2, because of course it did. Dakota kept interfering. Eclipse. And Dakota's like, no, you can't be my friend. And then Shotzi's green. It's a green and black attack, or a pink attack. Green, pink, and black attack. It's like if Slimer was in the Heart Foundation. And they run to the stage and everything. Dakota ends up in the potted plants, and we get a tornado DDT on the ramp. It's good to see Shotzi back, by the way. Hopefully she's all right, because you need to stop doing those weird dives. Otherwise, it's going to get weird. And then face first into the buckle, 1-arm bomb, 1, 2, 3. Raquel retains, and the match was fine. I think if they had less interference, I would have been more into it. Todd Pettengill is playing Karate Fighters with Loomis and says, hey, how have the women been treating you? And then it seems like Loomis figured out a way to win the game. Man, these puns are being shoehorned in. Great American Bash on July 6th. By the way, expect more retro reviews. At least of Great American Bash 86. 86. I already did 86. I did that. The house show ones before the WWE Network went away. Now they're going to be on the cock later. So anyway, 88 and a couple others. Check out my retro review playlist and see which ones old school review playlist, and check out which reviews I did. So I've done a lot already. So I just want to do some more just for fun. 88 might as well be the one pay-per-view that Jim Crockett Promotions did that was actually successful. Unlike Bunkhouse Stampede. So anyway, because the other ones were on closed circuit, just covering my ass there. Gargano sees women fighting backstage and is like, well, I'm just going to go out here. Gargano versus Dunn in white gear versus Cole versus O'Reilly versus Karrion Kross. Fatal 5-way human centipede NXT title match. And wow, this match had a lot of spots. And I appreciate the efforts of all these guys, even though, you know, Karrion is part of the QXT stable, and if you know, you know, the fact that he aligns as far as views with Drake Wirtz, yeah, kind of an idiot for that. And I met Karrion Kross, nice guy, but goddamn, don't be that fucking stupid to believe that Q shit. So, stuff was happening, and I'm sorry, but this match, these multiple person matches are all the same. They're just all the same after a while. Just, people hit spots. Oh, somebody does something and they got to go out for 5 minutes, or they got to go out for a couple minutes and they spill to the floor. And I don't want people all glommed together, breaking each other's limbs when they fall over accidentally. I don't want people hurt. But you can't keep doing these multi-man matches. This is in WWE, this is in AEW, New Japan's done it too. They do a whole bunch of this stuff. It gets old. It gets to where it's like, why the fuck is this happening? Like, Cole, at one point was getting fisted from behind by 3 other men at once. And man, that's undisputed right there. And then we get a door spot. Man, that was some adoration. That was adorable. I'm such a knob for making these door jokes. And we get spots. And oh, super kicks. This match might as well have been called Super Kick the Musical. Ridiculous. So many super kicks. Fucking hell. So, Kross gets back, tosses Gargano. Later dives on everybody. O'Reilly gets his head slammed into the fucking, announcer's table. We get Poison Rana. Stop with the fucking Poison Ranas. I'm just going, off just a little bit. Stop with the fucking Poison Ranas. I don't care what fucking company it is. New Japan needs to stop doing it. It's not that the wrestlers can't do it safely. But, come on, guys. There's a margin for error with any moves. I just don't think the Poison's I don't like it. I've seen it in indie shows. I'm like, why? And I actually audibly said that loud once, and I was like, I hope the wrestlers didn't hear, because, hey, they're the ones taking the bumps. I just think it's an unnecessary thing. So anyway, super kicks. Kross eating it from all his competitors. Well then, all right. Kross into the announcer's table. Double submission. More super kicks. Oh boy, more super kicks. Hooray. Too sweet. Anyway, brainbuster outside. Kross rises up, back on his feet. Bitter end for 2, and then we get Kross jacket, and he gets his finger snapped, and more super kicks. God, good. I was hoping we would have super kicks in this match. Heel hook on Cole, and then Kross jacket, and O'Reilly just gets destroyed repeatedly, choked out from behind, and that's it. Kross retains. Okay, that happened. And then Regal he couldn't keep control backstage over backstage brawls or parking lot brawls throughout the show. Or during, before the show, and then, Kross and Dunn trying to have a fight and everything. He says, it's been 7 years since I became GM. Maybe it's time for a change. If Regal wants to take more of a backstage role, train talent, and do that stuff, and doesn't want to be an on-screen GM, I respect it. That's one of the main reasons that I watch a show, though, because Regal doesn't always appear as GM, but he means something. I don't know why NXT has gotten to this point with me. It's better than Raw, don't get me wrong, and it's better than SmackDown sometimes, even though SmackDown's doing some good storylines. NXT just feels the same. And I've criticized AEW, but just about WWE, NXT feels the same. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.